Well, good afternoon, everybody. I'm redoing my cucumber rows here, but I just want to show you what happens here in the Philippines. I'm digging up the row here first, and I hope you can see all the roots I'm digging up. I'm going to dig up a few shovelfuls here. To show you actually what's going on here. You see all the roots I'm digging up? If you follow me on my YouTube channel here, you notice that about 6 months ago, before I planted cucumbers, I went through and did the same thing. Took all the roots out. In that amount of time, this is what happens here in the Philippines. As you can see, the soil is pretty rich, and as you noticed over the course of planting my cucumbers, that I removed as much of these roots as possible. You got to realize that a foot to 2 foot down, it's almost like solid volcanic rock. And so what happens is I've noticed that the roots, instead of going deep like they do in America in farming, because the topsoil is so deep, and then you don't run into that solid rock, but softer, harder soil, that the roots go down. You get actually a taproot. What happens here is, from the coconut trees and the mango trees and everything, the roots go down to that hard surface, and then they go looking for water. A few inches underground, and what happens is, when they find a supply of water, and you can notice here, boy, as I pull up the roots, actually what's going on here. Oh, a nice worm. And because I watered this all during the time I had my cucumbers here, it's like the roots went looking for the water and came out here. And this is more or less one of the things you got to deal with here in trying to garden, and especially in a large part of the Philippines here, is these roots grow faster, and of course the vegetables grow. And another thing you'll notice, I want to show you this pile here. I've done about 6 foot of row here. This is what I've come up with. This is what I've come up with here in the roots. And 6 months ago, basically little to none of that was here, because I'd gone through and done this before, and I do it every time before I plant, because they suck all the moisture out of the ground. And I've already found some roots down in here, and a clump this big, absolutely dry, clumped around the root. They suck all the moisture out, and then they continue out. They grew new finger roots and continue out in order to be able to get the moisture. It's something I never ran into in all the gardening I did in the States, and the only thing I can come up with is that down a foot, foot and a half, the ground is so hard that the roots will take the easy route and flow along the surface just a couple inches below the surface here, and looking for moisture. And when they find it, and especially in my garden rows here, they're finding moisture, and that especially from the simple fact that I watered these for the last 2-3 months during the drought. They found moisture, and so they just multiply. So I wanted to show you that as I continue to dig up the row here. And you'll notice, look at the roots I'm bringing up. It just doesn't seem to want to end. And just yeah, look at again, just that little bit. And of course the other thing you run into here, here's one where it's just so dry right around the roots, and you can tell they've just sucked all the moisture out completely. And there you go. Wow, pretty amazing. Do you ever get ahead of the game here? I'm not sure that you do. It's I told you, gardening here in the Philippines is very labor intensive, and definitely got to love to do it in order to do it, because it's hard work. So from in front of the camera this time, I'm going to say goodbye for now. Just wanted to show you this. And this has been a problem with gardening on our piece of property here ever since I started. And yes, we are harvesting some good crops. Okra, eggplant, my I gotta think, my peppers here, my cucumbers. I canned quite a few cans of cucumbers. I canned some peppers. Wow, yeah. But boy, the work involved is just absolutely amazing. So I'm going to say goodbye for now, just kind of bringing you up to date on what we're doing here. Like and subscribe, and sincerely hope the Lord blesses you as He's blessed Beth and I and our small little farm here.